we begin with a silence that has persisted for millennia. The silence surrounding a single terrifying truth that was forcefully removed from the canon of sacred knowledge. It concerns the only man in history who refused to die, the only prophet taken directly into the heavens to witness the true hidden architecture of the universe. This is the story of Enoch. The conventional texts offer only a fleeting, almost apologetic reference. Genesis merely states, Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. A single line to erase a man who held the keys to the entire cosmic war, a man whose visions unveiled the Demiurge, the Archons, and the prison system of our reality. Why was Enoch's account, meticulously preserved in the Dead Sea Scrolls and revered by ancient mystics, so violently suppressed? Because his journey was not a pleasant stroll with God. It was a terrifying ascent through the 7 layers of the Archontic prison, a journey that revealed the secrets of our entrapment and provided the password for our escape. Enoch did not merely meet the divine. He encountered the system of control. He saw the face of the false creator, and he was given the Gnosis that exposed the entire cosmic conspiracy designed to keep humanity in perpetual ignorance. To understand why his testimony was deemed too dangerous, we must follow his path, starting with the very first unauthorized visitors who descended from the heavens. Enoch's story is inextricably bound to the forbidden history of the Watchers. Before Enoch began his journey, the world was already corrupted, not by human sin as traditional doctrine suggests, but by an external deliberate contamination. The myth of the Watchers, or the Grigori, is the crucial starting point for understanding the Archons' direct intervention in human history. These Watchers were not God's primary angels. They were celestial beings designated to monitor the human condition from the high heavens. They were part of the Demiurge's intricate cosmic bureaucracy, high-ranking Archons responsible for maintaining the order and boundaries of the material prison. Yet, as Enoch's texts reveal, these Watchers grew lustful. They cast their gaze upon the daughters of men, finding them beautiful, and made a pact on Mount Hermon to descend to earth and take human wives. This act was a catastrophic breach of the cosmic law, the second major violation after Sophia's initial mistake. The Watchers' descent brought more than simple temptation. To gain control and dominance over their human consorts, these high-ranking Archons decided to share forbidden knowledge. Knowledge that was meant to be exclusive to the heavens and to the controlling entities. They taught humanity the art of warfare, the forging of swords and shields, the vanity of cosmetics and jewelry, distraction and attachment to the physical form, the deceptive practice of sorcery and astrology, tools for manipulating the archontic destiny, and the secret of herbs and root cutting, the initial corruption of natural medicine. This was not a gift. It was a sophisticated act of spiritual enslavement. By sharing this knowledge, the Watchers did 2 things. 1, they introduced the tools for mutual destruction, warfare, and self-obsession, cosmetics, anchoring the human spirit more deeply in the physical, fleeting reality of the Archontic prison. 2, they intentionally corrupted the original pure human consciousness, ensuring that future generations would be born not with an intuitive connection to the pleroma, but with a predisposition toward violence, lust, and distraction. This mass corruption of the earth is what provoked the heavens. But the heavens that reacted were not the highest realms of the monad. They were the layers of the immediate demiurgic prison. The Watchers were judged not because they corrupted man, but because their rogue actions threatened to expose the existence of the entire archonic system to humanity prematurely. The prison guards had broken protocol. It was into this world of chaos, violence, and forbidden knowledge that Enoch, the 7th generation from Adam, was called. He was a simple, righteous man, yet he was chosen to be the witness, the human consciousness that would ascend to expose the tyranny and the true structure of the cosmos. His disappearance was not a reward. It was an urgent mission to penetrate the enemy lines and report back the deepest secrets of the prison. He was about to embark on a journey that would reveal the fate of the fallen Watchers, the true nature of the planets as prison spheres, and the ultimate destination of the Gnosis that lay dormant within all of humanity. The transgression of the Watchers was not an act of simple rebellion. It was a profound act of sabotage against the Demiurge's cosmic order. While Yaldabaoth intended for humanity to remain a hillock material servant, bound by instinct and ignorance, the Watcher's intervention introduced a dangerous variable: false, corrupt Gnosis. The Watcher's gift of metallurgy, warfare, and divination was a double-edged sword. It awakened human intellect and creative power, but instantly directed it toward material destruction and external vanity. This was the Archontic plan perfected, granting just enough intelligence to ensure elaborate self-destruction, keeping the true spiritual spark, the pneumatikos, utterly obscured by the chaos of material life. Enoch witnessed the immediate, violent consequence of this fallen knowledge. The offspring of the Watchers and human women were the Nephilim, the giants, entities of immense physical size and insatiable appetite. These giants became the first true tyrants of Earth, consuming all human sustenance, then turning upon the humans themselves and finally resorting to drinking blood. They were the physical manifestation of the Archontic hunger, consuming the life force of the world. The resulting violence and suffering were so extreme that the lamentations of humanity ascended not just to the Demiurge, but through his entire system of controlled heavens. The superior Archons within the Demiurge's hierarchy realized that the rogue actions of the Watchers were about to compromise the entire prison system. Chaos, if left unchecked, would expose the lie of Yaldabaoth's perfect order. At this point, Enoch received his divine summons. He was tasked with an impossible mission: to travel to the high heavens and deliver the sentence of judgment against the very beings who had initiated the corruption. This required him to ascend through the cosmic boundaries set by the Demiurge, a feat that no uninitiated human soul was ever meant to achieve. Enoch's initial journey revealed the deep corruption within the celestial administration. He first traveled to the places where the Watchers resided, the very peaks of the mountains where they had sworn their oath. He saw their sorrow, their fear, and their futile attempts to plead for forgiveness. The essence of the judgment delivered by Enoch was not merely banishment, but absolute incarceration. The superior forces within the Demiurge's own structure, acting under the subtle, overriding mandate of the Pleroma, decreed that the Watchers were to be chained in the darkest pits of the earth and the cosmos. Enoch was shown their final destiny. 1. For the leaders, Shemihaza and others, bound for 70 generations beneath the hills of the earth, destined for the final eternal prison. 2. For their offspring, the Nephilim. Upon their death, their spirits would not find rest. They would become earthbound spirits, the demons and malefic forces that plague the physical world, continuing their mission of confusion and destruction long after their physical bodies had perished. This chaining of the Watchers serves as a crucial metaphysical allegory for the Gnostic seeker. It proves that the powers controlling us are not eternal. They are bound. They are prisoners of their own arrogance and errors, controlled by a higher decree, ultimately from the Pleroma, working through the Demiurge's administrative system. The illusion of their total power is the final trap. But the most insidious part of the Watchers' crime remained. Their teachings, astrology, divination, and the creation of weapons, did not disappear with their chaining. These skills were integrated into human civilization, becoming the very fabric of the Archontic control system. The knowledge became the prison. The astrological charts which the Watchers gifted became the Heimarmene, the rigid framework of fate and fortune that the Archons used to bind human minds. If a man believes his destiny is written in the stars, he will never seek the Gnosis, the inner radical freedom to break that fate. The Gnostic understanding of this era, as revealed through Enoch, is that our world is built upon a cosmic crime scene. The Archons did not merely create a cage. They handed the keys of the cage to humanity, teaching us how to forge our own chains of metal, vanity, and fatalism. This realization paved the way for Enoch's main mission, the ascent. He had to travel through the Watcher's fallen domain to witness the ultimate prison architecture, the seven heavens, and bring back the true map of the cosmos, which the Archons had worked so diligently to conceal. His journey would become the manual for every soul seeking to escape the influence of the fallen Watchers and the tyranny of the Demiurge. Enoch's mission demanded the ultimate spiritual breach, the ascent through the seven heavens, the Hebdomad, the very spheres that Yaldabaoth and his Archons had constructed to isolate the earth. This journey was the only way to obtain the true map of the cosmos, the one that revealed the structure of the prison. He was guided by the angels Uriel and Raguel, who acted as his escorts, but the journey remained harrowing. With every sphere he penetrated, Enoch witnessed the meticulous, terrifying detail of the archontic control system. The seven heavens are the true manifestation of the Demiurge's mind. They are not merely astronomical bodies, they are energetic gatekeepers, each one designed to test, strip, and ultimately recall the ascending soul back into the cycle of matter. Enoch's visionary journey established the cosmic geography of entrapment, detailing the purpose of each planetary sphere. 1. The first heaven, lower atmosphere moon. This is the immediate boundary, the realm closest to Earth, where the spirits of the dead often linger, unable to break free from the attachments of the flesh. Enoch saw here the initial registration of all human deeds, a record kept by low-level Archons designed to reinforce the belief in karma and inevitable fate, Heimarmene. The function of this layer is to instill fear of judgment and bind the soul with the weight of its material life. 2. The second heaven, Mercury. Here Enoch witnessed the vast armories and prisons where the rogue, bound Watchers were held. This sphere is characterized by intense chaos and resistance. It is the realm of the uncontrolled psychic urges, the realm where the Archons generate distractions, envy, and the illusion of perpetual conflict, ensuring human minds are consumed by external drama. The Archons here enforce the belief that knowledge is power, but only corrupt material power. 3. The third heaven, Venus. This layer controls the forces of desire and lust. The Gnostics understood that unbridled passion, though natural, is a primary tool of the Archons to anchor the soul to the physical body and the cyclical need for procreation and consumption. Enoch saw the celestial gardens, false paradises designed to tempt the soul into believing that the ultimate reward is sensory fulfillment. 4. The fourth heaven, the sun. This sphere is the central pillar of the system ruling the cycle of time. The Archon here governs the illusion of linear progression, ensuring that life is perceived as a countdown to inevitable decay. By enforcing the relentless rhythm of time and the illusion of finality, this Archon prevents the human mind from accessing the timeless, eternal state of the pleroma. Enoch saw the massive chariots of the sun, rigid and unyielding, symbolizing the unchangeable law of the Demiurge. 5. The fifth heaven, Mars. This is the realm of wrath and warfare. The Archon of this sphere oversees all terrestrial conflict and aggression, ensuring that humanity expends its spiritual energy on mutual destruction. It is a sphere of relentless opposition and judgment, constantly testing the human soul's purity and trapping it through the cycle of retaliation and vengeance. The Archons here reinforce the delusion of righteous anger. 6. The sixth heaven, Jupiter. Here, the boundaries of the Demiurge's dominion truly begin to solidify. This sphere rules justice and false law. The Archon here dictates the complex rules, dogmas, and the rigid moral codes, corrupted religion that keep the human mind bound to external authority. Enoch saw here the meticulous records of all creation, designed to prove Yaldabaoth's claim, "I am God, and there is no other." 7. The seventh heaven, Saturn-fixed stars. This is the final frontier, the seat of the Archon of Archons himself, Yaldabaoth. Enoch, in his vision, was brought right to the perimeter of the false throne. This sphere is characterized by a profound, chilling silence and finality. The Archon here enforces the illusion of transcendence within matter, convincing souls that they have reached the ultimate spiritual peak, thereby stopping their ascent just short of the pleroma. Enoch's survival of this journey was a miracle of Gnosis. He learned that the very heavens revered by humanity as the ultimate divine expression are in fact the complex interlocking layers of a cosmic jail. The planets are not benevolent guides, they are the machinery of fate. This knowledge, the map of the archontic cosmos, was the most dangerous gift Enoch could bring back to Earth. It stripped the Watchers of their celestial legitimacy and gave humanity the ultimate escape plan, the knowledge of what to expect, whom to defy, and what passwords, Gnostic formulas, to utter when the soul begins its final perilous ascent through the gates of the archontic prison. The next stage of his journey would reveal the physical proof of the Archon's devastating crime against humanity. Enoch's cosmic report did not end with the Archons and the seven heavens. It culminated in the shocking revelation of the Nephilim, the titanic offspring of the fallen Watchers and human women. The existence of these giants was the physical, undeniable proof of the cosmic crime committed against humanity. The Nephilim were not simply large men. They were hybrid monstrosities whose physical nature was bound to the earth, Hylic, but whose power was drawn from a corrupted celestial source. They grew to an immense stature, their existence itself violating the natural order established by the Demiurge. Their reign on earth was one of insatiable, brutal consumption. The texts detail how the Nephilim rapidly exhausted the earth's resources, turning their vast appetites first on the harvests, then on the livestock, and finally on the humans themselves. Their very existence was a form of proto-archontic energy harvesting, rapidly draining the spiritual potential and material resources of the planet. This violence and cannibalism forced the hand of the higher powers. The Great Deluge, the Flood, from the Gnostic perspective as revealed by Enoch, was not a moral punishment for human sin, but a necessary cosmic sterilization, a forced cleanup to destroy the physical bodies of the Nephilim before they could completely consume the world and expose the depth of the archontic corruption to all of humanity. Noah was saved not because of his piety in the traditional sense, but because he and his lineage maintained a pure spiritual line, unmixed with the corruption of the Watchers. He represented the remnant of the unadulterated human spiritual potential. However, the deluge only destroyed the flesh of the giants. This leads to Enoch's most profound and disturbing revelation, the fate of the spirits of the Nephilim. Because the Nephilim were born from a union of the celestial, Watchers, and the terrestrial, human women, their spirits lacked a natural, orderly place in the cosmos after the death of their physical bodies. They could neither ascend to the heavens nor descend into the depths of the earth to find rest. The judgment decreed that these spirits would remain trapped on earth. These earthbound spirits are what humanity would come to know as demons and malefic forces, the agents of temptation, disease, delusion, and madness. This is the hidden source of the constant, invisible psychological and spiritual warfare that afflicts humanity today. These spirits, the spectral legacy of the Archon's rebellion, have a singular eternal mandate to corrupt, confuse, and consume the vital energy of living humans. They continue the work of their fathers, the Watchers, sowing seeds of destruction, war, and spiritual forgetfulness. Enoch saw the places of their eternal torment and activity. He described the vast desolate valleys and the fiery chasms where the condemned Watchers and their spectral offspring are imprisoned. This geography of punishment serves as a final, absolute boundary that separates the forces of light from the eternal forces of chaos. This knowledge granted by Enoch is vital to the Gnostic seeker. To realize that many of the psychological struggles we face, the irrational anger, the relentless temptations, the sudden waves of despair, are not merely internal failings but the direct external influence of these residual spirits. They are the constant atmospheric noise of the matrix, designed to drown out the quiet voice of the inner spark. Enoch's final message regarding the Watchers was a prophecy of the ultimate final judgment. He saw the coming of a savior, a figure often interpreted as the cosmic Christ, who would not only judge the Watchers but also lead the final liberation of the spiritual sparks from the Demiurge's grasp. This prophecy cemented Enoch's status as the ultimate insider, the man who walked with the true divine, penetrated the prison of the false god, and returned with the escape plan. His writings became the underground manual for all those seeking to recognize the true nature of the enemy and the cosmic battle being waged for the human soul. The attempt to erase his books was the ultimate act of self-preservation by the ruling powers. His next and final set of visions would provide the ultimate hope, the knowledge of the final light and the destiny of the redeemed soul. Enoch's epic journey was not concluded with punishment and prophecy. It culminated in a vision of the ultimate final light, the knowledge of the Redeemer. Having witnessed the tyranny of the Archons, the corruption of the Watchers, and the terror of the Nephilim's residual spirits, Enoch was granted a sight of the one force capable of dismantling the entire system, the Son of Man. In the Book of Enoch, the title Son of Man is used to describe a pre-existent divine being of pure light, dwelling in the presence of the monad, the Ancient of Days, within the pleroma. This is not a figure born of material history alone, but a cosmic entity whose very essence is gnosis and justice. The purpose of the Son of Man, as revealed to Enoch, is twofold. 1. To judge the impostors. He is tasked with executing the final, absolute judgment upon the Watchers, the Nephilim spirits, and most critically upon the Demiurge, Yaldabaoth himself. This judgment is not based on moralistic sin, but on the ultimate crime of ignorance and usurpation, the failure of the Demiurge to know his mother, Sophia, and his failure to acknowledge the true monad above him. 2. To liberate the light. The Son of Man acts as the shepherd for the spiritual sparks. He is the ultimate teacher who brings the clear, unadulterated gnosis needed by humanity to navigate the final stages of the archontic prison. His coming signifies the completion of the time of error and the beginning of the great return. Enoch witnessed the very moment of cosmic reckoning. He saw the Archons and the kings of the earth, those who were willingly aligned with the false creator's system, attempting to hide from the brilliant, overwhelming presence of the Son of Man. They could not endure the truth of the pure, uncorrupted light. Their power, based entirely on the illusion of ignorance, instantly evaporated in the face of absolute knowledge. This vision provides the core doctrine of Gnostic hope. The system is self-limiting. The Demiurge's reign has a fixed duration, tied to the full awakening and escape of the spiritual sparks he imprisoned. The moment the collective gnosis reaches a critical mass, the final judgment is triggered. Enoch's prophecies also gave specific instructions for the initiates, those who had received the gnosis. He taught the importance of righteous living, not as a means of earning salvation, but as a method of cleansing the self from the archontic influences that thrive on chaos, lust, and violence. To live righteously is to starve the residual spirits of the Nephilim, and to strengthen the inner spark. The key to escaping the Heimarmene, cosmic fate, lies in understanding the true nature of the stars and planets. The planetary bodies are not gods. They are cosmic clockwork set by the Demiurge. Enoch revealed the detailed structure of the luminaries and their predetermined paths, showing that while they govern the material body, the helic aspect, they have no power over the liberated spirit, the pneumatikos. The knowledge of this distinction is the ultimate armor against the influence of the planetary archons. Furthermore, Enoch's texts offered a glimpse into the nature of the redeemed cosmos, the New Jerusalem. This vision is not simply a new earth, but a restoration of the divine order, a time when the corruption of the Watchers is fully eradicated and humanity lives in direct, unmediated communication with the pure Gnosis of the Pleroma. The immense power of Enoch's writings, therefore, lies in their ability to provide the metaphysical map of the prison and the itinerary of the escape. They confirm that the ultimate authority does not reside in the visible heavens, the seven heavens of the Demiurge, but in the transcendent hidden realms of the monad. The suppression of these books was the Archons' final desperate act of censorship. By removing Enoch's testimony, they hoped to erase the evidence of their own weakness and the clear, detailed instructions for spiritual liberation. But the Gnosis persists. Enoch's knowledge became the foundation for esoteric sects throughout history, the secret wisdom passed down through mystics and philosophers who dared to question the tyranny of the accepted reality. Our current world, defined by war, material obsession, and spiritual confusion, is the final phase of the archontic experiment. Enoch's prophecies serve as a direct, urgent call to action. Awaken the inner spark. Remember the Gnosis of the Son of Man and prepare for the ultimate liberation from the cosmic trap. Enoch's story is the definitive proof of the cosmic conspiracy. He was not a mere subject of the divine. He was the ascended man, the human who successfully navigated the perilous archontic realms, acquired the true Gnosis, and returned with the secrets of the cosmos. His ultimate fate, to be taken by the light, serves as the ultimate guarantee. The escape is real. The question remains, why were the Books of Enoch banned? The suppression of Enoch's writings was the most successful act of censorship in history, orchestrated by the forces of the Demiurge working through his earthly agents, the institutions that enforce material belief. The reason is simple and terrifying. The books provide the unedited raw data of the prison structure. Enoch's Gnosis directly contradicted the three pillars of the archontic control system. 1. The Creator lie. Enoch proved that the creator of this world is not the ultimate transcendent father, but a flawed, arrogant, and limited entity, Yaldabaoth, who resides far below the Pleroma. This truth destroys the foundation of all fear-based external worship. 2. The angelic lie. Enoch exposed the revered angels and stars, the Watchers and the Archons, as corrupt jailers, thereby invalidating any spiritual guidance that comes from the material heavens. 3. The sin lie. Enoch showed that humanity's greatest problem is not inherent moral weakness, but the contamination and ignorance introduced by the Archons' forbidden knowledge. The solution is not submission, but awakening. By removing Enoch from the canon, the controllers of the Matrix removed the map and the warning label. They left humanity to wander, believing that the prison walls were the boundaries of paradise and that the voice of the tyrannical Demiurge was the voice of the true God. Yet the legacy of Enoch persists. His knowledge, preserved through isolated sects and hidden scrolls, provides us with the final absolute understanding of our current predicament. Every time you feel that existential dread, that certainty that this cannot be all there is, that is the spiritual spark, the heritage of Sophia witnessed by Enoch, attempting to break through the residual corruption of the Watchers. The Nephilim spirits, the earth-bound demons of chaos and confusion, continue their mission today. They fuel the addictions, the political polarization, the relentless distraction, and the spiritual weariness that prevent the inner spark from achieving Gnosis. But Enoch's journey gave us the ultimate weapon: consciousness. To practice the Gnosis of the ascended man is to live by these principles. Recognize the imposters. Do not worship the material cosmos or the energies that control it. The Archons rule fate, but they do not rule you. Starve the Watchers. Refuse to feed the spirits of chaos. Withdraw your energy from anger, perpetual fear, meaningless consumption, and material vanity. Seek the inner witness. Focus entirely on the spiritual light within you. That inner light is the only part of you that has never been subject to the Demiurge. It is your direct line back to the Pleroma. The Books of Enoch, once restored to our understanding, transform the narrative of human existence from a story of sin and judgment into an epic tale of imprisonment and escape. Enoch is the blueprint, the living proof that a human being can transcend the archontic grip and ascend to the true source of light. This is the ultimate secret that the Archons could not permanently erase. The map to freedom is still available. This journey through the forbidden texts of Enoch is only the beginning of your Gnosis. You have now seen the true architecture of the Matrix, the identity of your jailers, and the ultimate destination of your soul. The time for passive belief is over. The time for knowing has begun. If the secrets of Enoch and the archontic cosmos resonate with the truth buried deep within your spirit, the choice is clear. Subscribe to the Scrolls of Anubis. Join us in this quest for Gnosis and secure your position among the awakened. Click the bell to ensure you receive the next sacred key that exposes the secrets of this simulated reality. Honor the ascended man. If this revelation has empowered you, tap the like button. Your support is energy pushing the light of this knowledge through the dark realms of the digital Archons. Declare your freedom. What shocking truth about the Watchers or the Matrix did Enoch reveal to you? Write your thoughts in the comments below. By sharing your Gnosis, you weaken the system of censorship and accelerate the collective awakening. The final war for your consciousness is here. Choose Gnosis, choose freedom.